Hi there, welcome to our viewers to this brand new week of the stock game right here on ETNA. I'm Devina Menik.
I'm Avan Dabash, and it promises to be extremely jam-packed. We've got two experts who are joining in from the fundamental side, and we've got our one technical expert who are going to battle it out to be the winner of BNSN, the stock game. Let's first inform you what the stock game is all about. I'm sure you already know, but we give a notional amount of 5 lakh rupees to 3 of our experts who join in from Monday up until Friday. They are supposed to deploy this money into 4 stocks, and only 1 stock can come in from the F&O space. They can give short calls in the cash market, but in that case, that position must be squared off by the end of the session and replaced with new stocks. And in addition, there is a compulsory churn of 2 stocks every single day. For target prices that are hit or any stop losses that are achieved, remember they have to change those stocks as well. And by the end of it, on Friday at 3:30, we will announce who is the winner of BNSN, the stock game, and who makes the most on the 5 lakh rupees that they deployed. Remember, last week we saw an absolute U-turn for Sudarshan Sukhani's portfolio. He overtook Nitesh Thakkar just on the last day, so that could possibly happen this time around as well. So let's bring on board our experts who are with us. We've got Sharmila Joshi who joins in today on the show. There's also Amit Goel as well as Sandeep Wagle. Many thanks for joining in today on BNSN, the stock game. We'll start off with individual portfolios. Sharmila, run us through what you've chosen with the targets and stop losses.
Yes, I think so. 4 new stocks to start the week with, and I've tried to pick things which are in the news as well as where there could be a little bit of momentum, and keep it a little varied at the same time, because when you come to the momentum basket, there are only n number of stocks that you can actually talk of. So rather than not repeat, hopefully the exercise will be to try and find some newer names as well. So I start with buying Pantaloon, where I have a target of 330 and a stop loss of 317. Then there's BGR Energy with a target of 481 and a stop loss of 464. Then I bought Gujarat Fluoro with a target of 405 and a stop loss at 391. And the last stock is Jindal Steel, which I buy with a target of 669 and a stop loss of 645.
All right, and one target already getting hit out there. Pantaloon retail target has been hit for Sharmila Joshi. We'll discuss those individual stocks in greater detail, but before that, let's run you through Sandeep Wagle and his entire portfolio and the targets and stop losses. Sandeep.
Buy in DLF at 232, target of 232, stop loss of 214.80. I think it's almost reached the target, some 20 paisa it has missed. I have a buy in Century Textiles with a target of 382 and a stop loss of 357. I have a buy in an MRF with a target of 7130 and a stop loss of 6775. And I have a buy in KRBL with a target of 3380. This is a small cap and at a stop loss of 2910.
Okay, buy calls coming in across the board for Sandeep Wagle, DLF, Century Textiles, MRF, and finally KRBL. We've got Amit Goel, who's also with us. Amit, you've never taken part on BNSN, the stock game. This is your debut performance. Tell us if there's any strategy and run us through your stock picks.
Absolutely, this is my debut performance, and I hope I do as well as Mohammad Azharuddin did on his debut. He hit 3 centuries in 3 consecutive tests, so that's my target. And my strategy is to basically pick up deep value stocks, and I would be mostly going for stocks which are which I am bullish for the long term, or at least for the medium term. So today my stock picks are MAG, where my target is 96 and my stop loss is 89.90. Milk Electronics, where my target is 26.5 and my stop loss is 24.5. Ceylon Exploration, where my target is 305 and my stop loss is 291. And Alok Textile, which I picked up in July futures, because I wanted to leverage it. There my target is 26.75 and my stop loss is 25.20.
All right, 2 target prices also getting hit, Amit, on your first day, so good going on that one. We'll tell you which stocks have hit their target prices, but before that, let's quickly run you through their calculator plates and tell you how each of them are standing at this point in time. Sharmila Joshi making good money on 3 of her stocks. Gujarat Fluoro not doing a whole lot right now, but Pantaloon retail, the target getting hit on that one. 1% is what she's already making, 6,000 odd rupees. for Sharmila Joshi. Sandeep Pargle and his situation looks pretty much same, but DLF is making the money for him along with the KRBL. MRF working against him, but making almost 9,500 rupees, closer to 2% gain on his entire portfolio. And Amit Goyal, there you have his portfolio. He's got two targets getting triggered: Marg, MIC Electronics. You've got Ceylon Exploration, Alok Textiles is also what he's got in his portfolio. He's making closer to 10,000 rupees as well. So it's neck to neck between Sandeep Pargle and Amit Goyal. But the first stock there in Sharmila's portfolio, let's take on board the first stock, which is the Pantaloon Retail Sharmila, and the target price getting hit out there.
Oh yes, I think this has been a story in the sense that is buzzing, in the sense this whole FDI on multi-brand. There is expectation that it will come about in July. So I think given that, you would see that most of the stocks in this space, whether it's a Pantaloon, whether it's a Shopper Stop, whether it's a Trend, I think all of them would be moving. My personal favorite honestly over there would be Trend, but I think the reason why I chose Pantaloon today was also the fact that now you have this this added buzz that if they really exit their future capital holding business, and that cash gets added to this, then you'll be looking at Pantaloon with a whole new angle really, because you'll be looking at a company where the debt will come down considerably, and they'll once again be really focusing on their core business. So I think 2-3 things really going in their favor. There's the whole focus on consumption play, then the kind of gains that retail stocks can make in that, as well as the fact that some news on multi-brand FDI is expected in July. So I would continue to like really most of the stocks in this space.
Alright, so there's multiple buzz which is keeping this stock alive, and it's higher by 2% in this session. Trent, of course, is what Sharmila mentioned is her preferred pick, but Pantaloon Retail has a target of 330. Coming to the first pick, Sandeep, that you've selected in your portfolio, and it's a DLF. You just had RBS, which has upgraded the counter to a buy from sell with an upside target of 250 from 195. So fundamentals looking very strong. Are the technicals replicating that?
Well, DLF is a stock which we have been negative over the last almost a year or so, and over the last 3 to 4 months it has made a bottom which is not breaking. So that is one thing positive. I mean, at a level of 208, 210, it is making a bottoming out formation. On Friday it gave a clear breakout, and it saw the volumes which were one of the highest in the last 6 months. So when normally such volumes come in, the stock tends to rally more and see an upside, further more upside. So that is my main reason for picking up this stock. And I think though I have a target of 230, 232, I think this stock may go beyond 245, 250, and that should be the immediate target over the next week or so, in case people who have bought based on the call or our view. The target is much bigger than that, so 255 to 260 cannot be ruled out, is what I would say.
Alright, so quite an aggressive target on the upside over the next few days to come, but today he's kept a target of 232 on that one, very close to its target price, 4.5% higher on a DLF. And remember, the last 7 days, last week also particularly, has been a swell move of about 10-odd%, and all of the international broker charges have now started talking about mid-cap as well as large-cap realty stocks and upgrading target prices as well. On to Amit, and your first stock, you've got a Marg Limited in your portfolio. Buy call on this one, target getting hit there, Amit.
Yeah, see, Marg is a long-term play for me, and it's a deep value unlocking story. The company is into diversified infrastructure. It is into ports, airports, marine infrastructure, and IT infrastructure. It's a profit-making company, and I think there is going to be a whole lot of value unlocking which is going to take place in the next 2 years. Their port business is doing extremely well, and they are ramping up the capacity very shortly from 5 million tons per annum at Karaikal to 15 million tons per annum. And ILFS has already taken a stake in their port business, and the valuation for the port business itself is around 700 crores. So I think at a MCAP of 350 to 360 crores, it's a steal, and I am very bullish on this for long term. But today my target was only 96, and I think it has already been hit.
Absolutely, you have the target price being hit on that counter. A Marg making good gains in today's session as well of 2%. A stop of 89 is what Amit places on that counter. Alright, let's move away and talk about the second pick in each of their portfolios. And even though Sharmila, pardon me, you have a target of about 481 on a BGR Energy, a lot of analysts talk about, further upside targets of say 550 to even 600 in the long term. Is that something that you would concur with as well?
Absolutely. I think, comfortably the stock can run up to, I think 525 in the near term, and, 550, as you said, with a slightly longer perspective. So I think a very good stock within this space, in this whole EPC business, and they do both equipment and turnkey projects. There has been, obviously, we've seen whether it is, I think it's probably the third company after L&T and BHEL to really offer, this one-stop solution kind of a this. And if you look at their order book as well as the way they've done last year, I think you will get great comfort in, the kind of move that in terms of, the sales and profit that you're going to see on in this company going ahead. So again, in terms of valuation, I think very, very reasonably placed as compared to some of the other stocks within this space. So yes, a definite buy from my side, and possibly with longer targets, but 481 for the day.
481 for the day, just 6 rupees short of that target price, but over the long haul, still seeing value in this one. Cheap valuation, maybe even a 550 is achievable on a BGR Energy. Stocks up higher by 1.5%. On to you, Sandeep, and you've got a Century Textiles in your portfolio. What's the rationale for choosing this one amongst all the textile counters?
Well, this is a stock which has been making a very clear pattern. We call it a rounding bottom pattern or an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which is very bullish. The last couple of weeks have witnessed extremely high volumes, and that too coupled with the price rise. And on Friday, it has moved out of that band, which is a strong resistance of around 360 levels. That was my main reason for picking this stock up. And though my target for the show is 382, I believe that this will have the strength to go to around 405, 410 over the next few weeks, and that is the logical target of this pattern. So 410 is what I would talk of in the next few weeks, and for me this is a good stock to buy on every decline as a position trader over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Alright, that's the word coming in on Century Textiles, which is doing well in today's session, higher by about 2%, and Sandeep places the target of 382. Let's talk about Merck Electronics then. Amit, that's a stock that you've got in your portfolio. Pretty jagged on the chart, but what are you making of the fundamentals, because it's still facing a little bit of trouble?
Yeah, see, fundamentally you can't fault Merck Electronics. It owns the Onida brand name, and the company's turnover is 2,000 crores, and the MCAP is only about 350 to 360 crores. So, there is a whole lot of brand value in this company, and I think the brand valuation itself should be many times the current MCAP of the company. They have got aggressive expansion plans, and I believe that the turnover of the company would grow from 2,000 crores to 4,000 crores in the next couple of years. So it's looking quite good. It's a profit-making company. So I believe it's a multi-bagger for the long term. Short term, of course, one can't be very sure, but I think even in the short term, it should not do badly. My stop profit for today is around 26.5, but I'm very bullish on this for long term.
All right, very bullish on the long term, expecting a doubling up of the turnover there for Merck Electronics, and that's up or closer to 2% in today's session. Calculator plates then, and that's Sharmila Joshi's performance as of now. So it's making a profit of 1.2%, almost 6,000 rupees is what she is making. Coming to Sandeep Agle's portfolio, gains across the board except for an MRF, which is losing out closer to 0.5%, but still closer to 2% of the gains on his entire portfolio. 9,300 odd rupees is what he's making. And finally, coming to Amit Goel's portfolio, all his stocks are in the green right now. Even Alok Industries has started to make its move upwards. So about 2.2% gains, closer to 11,000 rupees is what Amit is making at this point in time.
Okay, but will Amit Goel continue to lead the way? We'll only have to wait and watch. We'll be discussing their next two picks after this quick break. But on to reminding our viewers how you can be a part of the show. Buy Now, Sell Now. Any queries or questions that you have, all you have to do is send us an email at bnsn@etnow.tv. You can also SMS us at 58888 or call us on 022-2483-7111, and every day with Rajat Bose, we'll get those queries answered.
Hi there, you're watching BNS in the Stock Game right here on ET Now.
Alright, let's talk about stocks number 3 and 4 and see what our experts have picked out and what the reason is for the same. So Sharmila, we'll start off with you once again. There's a Gujarat Fluoro which was on a tear last week, seeing a bit of profit booking in today's session. But if you were to talk about the long haul, what are the levels that you would buy this counter at?
Obviously I would buy that current level since I've recommended it for the day. But this is a stock which is in the making of refrigerant gases, and I think more importantly the story here is that of carbon credits, and I think that follows because they are expanding their capacity in their main business, so they will have more carbon credits to offset going ahead. So a very good steady pace at which they are growing, and that gives me great comfort in the stock at this level. I think we have seen the stock kind of move up from about 330, 340 levels to current levels, and it's probably close to its 52-week high, which is why you're possibly seeing the slowdown. But as you said, I think that easily you could keep a target of about 500 rupees to 500 rupees plus in the stock if you had a slightly longer investment horizon. So definitely this is a stock that you can buy on this, and a stock that I like, and I've recommended it for the day with a target of 405.
Target of 405 for the day, but over a longer period of time, 500 is what Sharmila sees on the counter. But remember, it's already run up almost 20% last week, and even on a 52-week basis, 153% is what the stock has shot up by. Sandeep Pagle, coming to you and your third stock, you've got MRF from the tire space. Keeping in mind how the rubber prices have been moving, you've seen a lot of fluctuations in tire company and their prices. MRF last month, however, had the shutdown in their Kerala plant because of some labor unrest, but that got sorted out. But on the charts, how would you view an MRF, and why would you choose this one vis-a-vis an Apollo Tires or maybe even a JK Tires?
Well, all of that you said has been discounted in the price. I think the worst is over for this stock, and the way it closed on Friday at almost 6,900 at the high of the day augurs very well for the stock. And once above 6,950, actually I have preempted this stock as a trade. But once the stock clears 6,950, this stock has a particular way of moving. It moves up or down very, very fast. And from 6,950, once above it, it can even go to 7,500 in a day or two. And I think traders, this is what I have preempted. Possibly now it is not breaking that, it is moving, consolidating in that range. But once it breaks 6,950, which I hope it will do it by the end of the day or maybe tomorrow, this stock will give you a 300-400 rupee move, and my next target is 7,450, 7,500. And for the day or for the show, I am talking of a price target of 71.30, and my stop loss is 67.75. But I hope it will break that band of 69.50.
Alright, a bit quiet in today's session, but we witnessed a sort of a rally in most of these counters last week, lower by 0.4% at 68.60. Let's talk about Stellan Exploration. You've got the target price hit on that once again. Congratulations, Amit. But it's a stock which has cracked from levels of about 370 to what it's currently at. So do you think that the bounce back is in the offing?
See, Stellan is a deep value buy. The company is fundamentally doing very well. And the most important factor, because of which I picked up Stellan is the recent appointment of Mr. Andrew Wenck as the CEO. He's the same gentleman who had a big role to play in the ramping up of production at Kane, and before that D6 of Reliance. So, and I think this has come at a very opportune time for the company, because they've completed seismic studies on their 5 very important new fields. And the production is going to start very soon, and the total production of crude oil for the company is probably going to go up by 5 times in 3 years as per our research. So I think it's fundamentally looking very good. We expect the profitability to be at 250 crores let's say by 2015 or so, and at the current MCAP of 500 crores, it's a deep value buy. So fundamentally we're very bullish. The reason why it has come down recently is probably because of the meltdown in crude prices. So I think, as far as crude is concerned, you would see those $5 to $10 movements from time to time, but then I think if you take a fundamental view, if you take a long-term view, then the company is looking very good, and over a period of next 2 to 3 years, it could easily go up by 3 or 4 times from here. Today my target was only 305, which has been hit in the morning.
Alright, that is Stellan Exploration, target getting hit 305. The stock has cooled off since then. 301 is where it's currently trading at a high by 1.2%. Coming to Sharmila, and your last stock, Jindal Steel, is the stock that you've picked out. Also in the news last week, all Jindal stocks were up in trade. Jindal Steel and Power, particularly along with IOC and Lazatec New Zealand, are in talks to actually collaborate in accelerating the deployment of the foreign firm's proprietary gas fermentation technology. So we've got news floating around that's on the positive side. Last week was particularly good as well. Is this expected to carry on forward for Jindal Steel, Sharmila?
I think just to explain my rationale really behind picking this stock, as you said, this stock is that way a well-known stock, and there is always some or the other news that some development taking place. I think the development just as of Friday was that their Bolivia mine has commenced production of iron ore with some 20 billion tons of iron ore, plus from their El Multan mine. There is also some other talk of they're starting some new project. But I think more importantly, honestly, looking at the cues that one got on Friday as well as the global cues, I expected markets to be in a far more buoyant mood than they are really this morning. And I think given that, you must pick a slightly more high beta play that will give you better return. So I think what's really working in the market today, for instance, is sugar, which has been depressed. But I think those are the kind of plays. I think you must have some commodity play, and I thought therefore why not a metal stock, and a good metal stock at that. I think every time the stock goes crosses that 700 kind of level, if you have the stock, you should look to exit, and if it gets closer to that 600 level, you should look to enter. And I think this is a great entry point for this high beta metal pack, because we've really seen it quiet in trade for a very long time. So with a target of about 669, I've bought it for the day.
Alright, a high beta, strong pick from the metals pack, and Sharmila mentioned that if it's above 700, you can look to exit, and around the 600 levels, look to enter the counter. Let's talk about your second pick, Sandeep. KRBL. It's on a tear in today's session and has been a volume buzzer for the past week as well. That export of non-basmati rice is also something that's auguring well for all of these rice companies. What kind of targets are you foreseeing for the medium term?
Well, Aman, I think it has made a bottom at 25, and on Friday the way it moved, the volumes for the last week were one of the highest in the past 3 or 4 months, and I see a target of around 32.50, 33. That is what I expect in a few days to come. Possibly it can come in a day as well. But talk of the long term, it has made a rounding bottom pattern, and if you talk of the next few weeks or possibly 1 to 3 months, I would be comfortable talking of a price target of 42 to 43. And at a level of 29.30, it does make a great buy with a target of 42 with a 1 to 3 month time horizon.
All right, from a longer time horizon, you can probably look at a level of 40 to 43 on a KRBL. But today, the stock has spurted up, and as you can see, after seeing a very flat early morning trade, it's made that spike up 2.5% higher at last count for a KRBL. Coming to Amit and your final stock, we had Sandeep going long on Century Textiles, but you've chosen the other one, that's Alok Textiles.
Yeah, but obviously for fundamental reasons. In the short term to medium term, we are very bullish on Alok Textiles. Its textile industry overall is doing very well, and as you know, cotton prices have come down in the last couple of months. So this was one factor, which was continuously pinching the textile industry's fortunes. But now that also having been reversed, I think we've got reasons to be bullish on Alok for the short term. And longer term, obviously, there are issues relating to leverage on the balance sheet. But even there, some relief is expected, because the company is probably going to sell off some of its real estate portfolio in the next few months and pay back some of its high-cost debt. So I guess over the short term to medium term, the stock looks positive, which is why I picked it up. And my target today is 26.75, and my target over the next few weeks is around 30. But longer term, I would probably not stick to it because of the balance sheet issues.
Alright, that's the word coming in on an Alok Industries July futures target at 26.7, stop at 25.2, and the counter is very quiet in today's session. That's the final calculator played for our three experts. Gujarat Fluoro continuing to be a bit of a sore spot, but making 1% gains. Sharmila Joshi currently sitting at a gain of about 5,400 rupees on her portfolio. To Sandeep Wagle next, and MRF is the counter on which he's losing, but making a very strong gain on DLF. 11,300 is the gain that he is currently sitting on. And for Amit Goel, who is playing on the stock game for the first time, he's seeing smart gains across the board for each of his picks, particularly Amard Limited. 1.5%, close to 2% is what he is making. 9,000 is the kind of gain that he's presently sitting at. Alright, so it's been great for our first session of BNSN, the stock game. Thanks very much, Sharmila, Sandeep and Amit for being with us. We look forward to hearing what you dole out for us tomorrow.
So Sandeep overtook in a matter of a few minutes. KRBR made it stop and Sandeep has taken the lead there. But we'll come back after this very short break to address the portfolio as well as your individual stock queries. Once again, to remind all of our viewers how you can send us your individual queries and be a part of Buy Now, Sell Now. All you have to do is send us your queries to bnsn@etnow.tv. You can also send us an SMS to 5888 or call us. Be live on the show with us. The number will be flashing on your screen.